All right, so let's start in the West. The San Antonio Spurs, average age of 75, going up against the Utah Jazz. If I'll ask you the question I asked you, what we'll call off the air. If you were a bookie and the Jazz, you had to give the Jazz a number of odds to win the series, what would it be?
About 2,001.
2,000 to 1? How come?
Yes, they have no shot. Their defense isn't good enough, number one, especially on the perimeter to contain the Spurs' three-point shooters. And the other reason is I don't think they can score. Even though Utah is a pretty good scoring team when you look at their numbers, I just don't think they can keep pace with the Spurs, and they don't have the horses to come off the bench to stem that tide. So I don't think there's a shot in the world that they have to beat the Spurs. I would be shocked if this series went beyond a sweep.
Oh, beyond a sweep. Okay, because I was going to ask you, do you even give the Jazz a game? I mean, I would have to think that the Spurs will not roll over or steamroll the Jazz and just sweep them. I mean, I would have to say that they'll win at least one game.
I think they're going to have a mud hole stomped in them after the Spurs are done. I don't think there's any chance. Spurs are too deep. I mean, look, the Jazz have Al Jefferson in the middle, and they have Paul Millsap, who are really good players. And they have some good, but one else on the team is a role player. And Devin Harris isn't going to outplay Tony Parker. That's not even. Devin Harris has trouble outplaying DJ Augustin. So I'm going to take the Spurs in a blowout in this series.
So you're taking the Spurs in a sweep?
In a sweep.
Okay, I'm taking the Spurs in 5. Let's go to the next one, Memphis and the Clippers. Possibly the most intriguing matchup that I see in the Western Conference because, I had Memphis as my dark horse, and then they draw the likes of the LA Clippers, who, granted, they do not have the best coaching. They certainly have some of the best talent in the NBA. I mean, what's your take on this one? Do you even give me your take first, and then we'll get to the result that you see.
I think this is a 6 or 7 game series. I'll give Memphis the edge. It's a tough draw for them in the first round, but the Western Conference is so incredibly deep. You couldn't expect anything less. So I see Memphis in 6 or 7 games. You hold a gun to my head, I'll say 7. But it's a tough draw, but I think it's actually a good way for them to kind of get kick-started in the playoffs. This is a tough matchup, as tough as any other matchup they're going to face, I think, including the Spurs.
What do you expect of Rudy Gay? Because as we know, he did not play last season, and they beat the number 1 team in the Western Conference last year in the Spurs. So what do you expect out of Rudy Gay making a comeback in the playoffs?
I think he's going to attack the rim a lot. I mean, they have really, the assistant coaches especially, I know for a fact, have really drilled into him to get rid of the ball, to not hold it so much, and to attack the rim more. And I think when Zach Randolph isn't on the floor with him, especially, Rudy tends to attack the basket a lot more. And I think you're going to see a little bit more versatility in the attack, not only for the Grizzlies, but how they use Rudy Gay in that system. So I actually think he's going to have a really good series. And he's going to have to – this is the time to show that $80+ million contract he signed a few seasons ago that he's worth it. And he's got to do it in this series.
Completely agree with you on that one. Okay, last one on this game. Let me ask you about Mike Conley. I was going to say Chris Paul, but Mike Conley is obviously the bigger question mark. What kind of a series do you think he'll have as he goes up against Chris Paul?
I think he's going to have a low-scoring series because containing Chris Paul and trying to keep him out of the lane and causing havoc is going to be his first priority. The Grizzlies can score. They have other guys who can kind of put the ball in the basket. Marc Gasol, Rudy Gay, Zach Randolph. They can have O.J. Mayo come off the bench. Where they need Mike Conley most on the offensive end, obviously, is to distribute the ball more so than scoring. But especially on the defensive end, you got to keep Chris Paul out of the lane.
Agreed.
And if you keep him out of the lane and make them a half-court team, your chances exponentially go up to be able to win the series.
And if you defend the pick and roll.
Oh, yes.
If you defend the pick and roll, not even in an excellent manner, but in a good manner, and you get good help defense, and you don't let them reset the pick and roll 2 or 3 times, then what kind of team do they turn into?
The Clippers, they just turn into, they start chucking it. Nick Young, Randy Foye, they start chucking the ball. See, look, in the paint, to me, you can't give the ball to DeAndre Jordan. He doesn't have any really back-to-the-basket moves. Blake Griffin is limited offensively if he's not dunking the basketball. So pretty much the only thing you have left are guys who are going to jack the ball up from 18 to 22 feet. And if you can turn them into that kind of team, you can win the game. But that's why I believe Zach Randolph maybe doesn't play as many minutes as he normally would in this kind of series, because he's slow-footed. That running a lot of pick and rolls with him maybe may expose Memphis a little bit more. So I think you may see them kind of go away from having both Gasol and Randolph in the lineup for long stretches.
So you're saying Memphis in 7. I'll take Memphis in 6. So let's go to the next one with the Lakers and the Nuggets. Is this a tough matchup for the Lakers, or does it favor them?
I think it's a tough matchup. You know what? Going into this series, without the controversy the Lakers had with Metta World Peace getting suspended, I would have to say the Lakers wins this series. They'd win the series in 5, probably 5 games, maybe 6. I still think they win the series. I'm picking them in 6 games. But without having Metta World Peace to guard Danilo Gallinari, I think that kind of changes things a bit. Gallinari is a good shooter, good distributor, good ball handler. And if they don't contain him, and Devin Ebanks, who's not as physical as World Peace, can't contain him, that's going to create some issues. The second issue that the Lakers are going to have is, Denver's a speedy team that runs a lot and scores the ball a lot, and the Lakers have shown vulnerability in transition defense, in pick-and-roll defense, especially with Andrew Bynum on the floor. As good as he's been, you pull him away from that basket, they're a different team. And so I think this is one of those series that can go either way, and a lot of it hinges on how Andrew Bynum reacts. Does he blow his cool? Does he start arguing with the coach? Does he demand he shoot three-pointers? If those kinds of things happen, we might be in for an upset. But all things being equal, I'm going to take the Lakers.
You're going to take the Lakers in 6. I'm actually going to take Denver in 6. So we're gonna disagree.
Are you?
I am. Yeah. Go ahead.
I would love to take Denver, but again, that's a big if about Bynum. But yeah, all things being equal, if both teams come in playing their best, I'm taking the Lakers.
Jay, what consistency have they shown you this year, either with the coach or with Bynum or with Kobe getting mad? I mean, he always gets mad. But have you seen any good consistency from that team this year to be like, yeah, you know what? They're a shoo-in to get out of the first round.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But none whatsoever. I'll tell you what I do like what Mike Brown has done. There's a few adjustments that he's made that no one's given him credit for towards the end of the season, especially in that key game against the Thunder when World Peace took out James Harden. When he adjusted, put Kobe Bryant on Russell Westbrook, who shut Westbrook down. He made other adjustments on the pick and roll. He kept Andrew Bynum out of the game and went with Jordan Hill, who's a little bit better guarding the pick and roll than Andrew Bynum has been. So he's made a few little adjustments here and there defensively that I think has worked, and he's kind of realized what their weaknesses are. So I think Brown has done actually exceptionally well for a guy who supposedly can't coach. He's got his team 41 wins, the number 3 seed in the Western Conference. Despite Andrew Bynum acting out, Kobe being hurt throughout the season, Matt Barnes being hurt throughout the season, World Peace getting suspended for 7 games, Pau Gasol underperforming most of the season, the first half of the season because he was worried he was going to get traded. Brown endured all of that and has a team at number 3, so that has to count for something.
I totally agree with you. I'm not taking anything away from Mike Brown. The fact that he has built a team to the seed that they have and that they have earned with this season, and with the cards that he has been dealt, whether it was in the offseason or whether it was everything that you just listed, I mean, I don't think he's done a bad job at all. But the fact is, I have not seen consistency from this team, and I cannot say, you know what, they were consistent enough to at least get out of the first round. I don't see it. There are too many distractions. Something is going to happen. Something is due to happen, especially when the playoffs are there, the tempers are flaring, guys are going to be yelling at each other in the huddle. And I mean, I don't know who's going to go after Mike Brown or whether it's going to even get out to the public. I just don't see them getting out of the first round. I see Denver out hustling them, and outplaying them throughout the series. They may not have the bigger names, they may not have the bigger logo, they may not have the better colors, but I see them beating LA in the first round. I just do. That's my take on it.
Very possible.
Last game in the Western Conference. Oklahoma City and the reigning champion Dallas Mavericks. Dallas obviously had the distractions with Lamar Odom. Not a good case scenario when they thought that they were getting a solid 6-man or a solid starter. Oklahoma City, do you see them totally blowing out Dallas in this matchup, possibly even sweeping them?
I think this is a much tougher series than most people are making it out to be. I think Oklahoma City wins the series. Let's make no mistake.
Okay.
But I think it takes them 6 games. The reason being, Dallas's ability to play the matchup zone, I think, is going to still give them trouble. Now, granted, Tyson Chandler isn't in the middle to kind of clean up those mistakes of Russell, in the force of Russell Westbrook into turnovers by closing them out. But Dallas, I think, still feels, they did teach them a lesson going down the stretch last year, winning 3 of the 4 games in their Western Conference final that came down to the last 2 minutes. I do believe Oklahoma City is too athletic overall, that they're too fast, and they have too many weapons. And I think you're going to see a Dallas team that hangs in there, does some good things, maybe wins a close game or 2 that raises doubts. But I think in the end, when Oklahoma City kicks it into full gear, they're going to pull away, and they're going to be decidedly the better team.